Hey guys, subscribe for daily knife content. And if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another very interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the brand new 2021 Benchmade manual Adamas. Full size. Very cool. I think this and the mini Adamas were the two most exciting things that Benchmade revealed for the first part of 2021. I don't think that this is everything, not by a long shot. But yeah, when I saw this and I saw the change in blade steel, really excited. Absolutely. By this time, you've probably already seen my review of the Auto Adamas, which is the exact same size. It's just an automatic knife. This one is not automatic. It's manual, which is going to be helpful for people who can still carry a large knife in their area, but not an automatic one legally, or people who just prefer to carry a knife like this with manual action. This knife and every other variant of the Adamas that is currently available will be linked right down in the description so that you can check it out. It is not confined to this particular color setup, even though I really like this. There are a lot of different colors of G10 and a lot of different blade colors. In fact, I'm going to show you the variety of combinations, some of them that you can find out there here in just a little bit. But yeah, check them out. I'll also link Benchmade knives in general. Thank you so much to Benchmade for sending this in to me for review. I really appreciate that. And thanks so much to my generous patrons who are supporting me right now. There's a link for Patreon right down in the description. Sorry, I bumped the mic. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Let's go ahead and get a measurement of this guy. It's going to be the exact same as the other Auto Adamas, the new one, and it's going to be the same as the old Adamas. Coming in at a total length of 8.75 inches overall. Blade length is coming in at about 3.9. Cutting edge is coming in at about 3.75. First up, let's put it against the brand new Auto Adamas, just so you guys can see. We are at a slight angle here, so the one on top might look a little bit shorter, but nope, they're the exact same length and same dimensions. Let's put it up against the old D2 Adamas. Same length, but I will point out again, like I did point out in the automatic review, that the old one is a little bit thicker. The blade stock thickness is 160 thousandths on this guy. This guy's 140 thousandths. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. How about up against the Ontario Rat Model 1 and its little brother, the Ontario Rat Model 2? You can see here that the Adamas is huge. It's very big, absolutely, making both of those knives look tiny. How about up against the Spyderco PM2 and its little brother, the Spyderco Para 3? Once again, you can see the Adamas big, right? Adamas big, other knife small. How about up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue? There you go. If you're wondering about the differences between the Griptilians and this, and then there you go. That's a good size comparison. And last but not least, let's do it up against the mini Adamas so that everybody can get a good look at this. I'll put it on top so you guys can see here size difference, right? And then let's all switch it up just because the camera angle is a little bit different. So there is a hefty size difference. I wear an XL glove, and I still get a full purchase on the small guy. So the big guy is definitely roomy for me, but just wanted to make sure you guys could see that. Carry profile up against the Spyderco Para 3. I realize, by the way, that a lot of you have seen my automatic review, and you think, yeah, why do you need to do this, right? Because there's a lot of people watching who haven't seen the other review. This is beneficial for them either way, right? Thickness, it's definitely a little thicker than the Spyderco Para 3. Let's go ahead and do length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. So there you go. Height-wise, it is definitely just about as tall at maximum height as the PM2 and Para 3, but it's also longer and thicker than both. So this is not going to be the easiest thing in the world to carry for people who are used to carrying knives like that. Blade stock thickness, like I said, the old one is definitely thicker. Go ahead and measure this guy just so you can see it once again. It should come in at almost exactly 140 thousandths. My calipers are not perfectly accurate, but there we go. It's saying 139. It's about 140 thousandths, definitely. We're looking at a combination of steel liners, G10 scales, and a nearly 4-inch CPM Crewwear blade. So weight on this guy is still going to be pretty high, but like I pointed out in the Auto Adamas review, there are some differences here between the variants. So the big full-size manual Adamas, the new one, coming in at 6.38 ounces. The brand new automatic Adamas, for whatever reason, coming in a little bit less at 6.24 ounces. But the old manual Adamas, here's the big difference. coming in at 7.72 ounces. They definitely reduced the weight of the full-size Adamas, which I'm in favor of. This is huge, but it's over my, and I like overbuilt knives, but it's over my maximum carry preference weight, which is about 6.5 ounces. This guy, it's right there at the top, right? It's a little longer than I prefer to carry, but it's definitely been lightened up, and I think for the better. Absolutely. The cutting geometry on the new one is much better than the old one. Once again, I'll give you guys a look at the new and old blades, right? Now this one's serrated, right? The profile's the same this way, but dimensionally, no, it is definitely different, but you still get a very, come on, you still get a very robust tip. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's exactly the same as the old one, but it's still very, very robust and very, very capable. I don't think you should shy away from really using this knife. It's absolutely preferable. Did we cover every... Oh, we didn't do the hardware check. Let's go ahead and get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the description. I think, yeah, in fact, I know that this is going to be the same as the other ones. The Adamas and many Benchmade knives actually have a T10 pivot, and then all the body screws are T6. There's quite a few body screws. Be careful. Make sure you're using quality tools so you don't strip anything out. Axis lock knives are a little bit frustrating to take apart. The manual Adamas is going to be a lot easier to take apart than the auto Adamas, but it's still going to be kind of, if you've never done it before, I'd get on YouTube and watch a tutorial. At this point, I've taken so many apart axis lock knives that I'm like, it's just going to take a little bit longer, right? But it's totally doable. If you have a question about your knife, a concern about your knife, and you're taking it apart because you're worried about something, contact Benchmade first. Make sure that it's not, something that can be, maybe something you might need to send it in for, right? But if you're just worried about, or if you just like curious, I just want to take it apart, be careful. If you've never done it before, that's the best advice I can give you. So this is a big knife. It's going to be illegal for a lot of people because of the blade length, but it's not automatic. So that's nice for people who can't carry automatic knives. This knife is incredibly smooth. I've said this over and over and over again. Benchmade's quality control and fit and finish have done nothing but get better over the last 2 years. Yeah, now I do have knives being sent directly by Benchmade, but a lot of what I'm saying there, my opinion there, has come from the vast majority of the knives that were sent to me, that were Benchmade knives over the last 2 years, have been sent by viewers, right? Not to keep. No, they go back to viewers when I'm done. Unless they say just keep it, which does, for whatever reason, occur sometimes. Thank you. Some of my viewers are very generous, but no, they go back, right? So my opinion is based on knives that, in some cases, have actually been thoroughly used, right? In other cases, knives that are brand new that they just haven't used yet, right? But yeah, Benchmade, their fit and finish is way, way better than it was a couple of years ago and back. And this is another example of that, right? Completely, when you pull that switch, oh my gosh, so smooth. It's crazy. Centering on this guy is dead perfect. Lockup on this guy, which we normally do at the end, absolutely, completely solid. Everything, the seating of the hardware, edges, things like that. The cutting bevels are nice and even. There's no wonkiness or anything like that. No weirdness. No, it's great. I think it's, at this point I can confidently say, you're gonna get a good knife if you buy from Benchmade, whether it's as long as it's not a knife that's been sitting on a shelf for 4 years at a local retailer. If you're buying a brand new Benchmade from one of the main retailers or the retailers that I've got listed down below, and many others, right? Or you're going to a local store who has new stock, right? New Benchmade knives. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be put together well. I think you can, be confident in that at this point. I really like this coating on the blade. Oh my gosh, I love this. Now we have this kind of like deserty military look, but, and that, like, that's not my life. It's not my world. I've never served, right? I'm not in the military. I just like the color combo. The OD green and especially this blade is just beautiful. It's just this flat bronze finish. It looks so good. And Adamas looks like it's made to wear these colors. God, I just love it. Now, personally, I would really like it if Benchmade did black G10 with a bronze blade. I don't know what it is about black or charcoal colors with bronze, but I love them. I think, the first time I saw I hate to keep bringing up Microtech and Benchmade reviews, but Microtech has done some black aluminum with bronze blades, and it just looks so good. I don't think it's one of the color combos currently, but I would really like that. In any case, the color combos that you can get currently on this guy, I'll get all the different combinations of these that I've got out. So for the different blades. Now, this is an older Adamas, so the color is going to vary a little bit, right? But we have the black, the FDE, and then the tungsten, which looks great. Then, of course, you have you can see here, actually, the new Coyote is a little brighter than the old Coyote, but you've got the Coyote G10, the OD Green G10, and then, of course, the black G10, which is going to be represented here with the smaller guy. And yeah, all the different combinations. It's not like any of these particular knives, the size, the deployment, right, whether it's automatic or not, they're not confined to one specific color combo per model. No, you can kind of mix and match between all the models. You can check out everything that's available, all the different combinations, by using the link right down below. But I do like that a lot. We are not specifically confined to an sort of all desert look or all black look, which it seemed like it was kind of the case a long time ago with Benchmade black class or tactical class knives. It was like, you can either get the desert version or you can get the Shadow Ninja version, you know? And it's like, But these new colors, at least the combos that they're doing, are just awesome. I love this. It looks so good. Yeah, this thing has holes in it. The Adamas has always had holes in it. They're not hurting anything. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Right? It's just going to be a personal preference thing. I just don't have a problem with it. In hand, it's the same thing that I said about the auto version. It is comfortable. It is thick and it is robust. It gives you that feeling of confidence. It is not as thick and crazy as the older one, right? And that's I don't think it's because the scales are necessarily thicker. It's because the blade stock is different. So the scales are closer together. They've also done, like I said in the automatic review, they've sort of scalloped this area out, making this area just a little bit more comfortable. There's also no longer a backspacer. It's just a couple of standoffs, which might have something to do with the reason that it's a little bit, you know, it's not quite as heavy. But yeah, every other area, they didn't slack on the robustness. They just made it a little bit more wieldy, and they made the cutting edge a little bit better, right? With a thinner blade stock, it does definitely come down to a thinner cutting edge, but this is still not a laser beam. This is still not an open L, right? This is something that's meant to be taken out and beaten on. The combination of the geometry of this blade and CPM Cruwear is, once again, like I said in the other reviews of these other Adamas knives, an excellent combination. This is not a blade that you should be afraid to beat on. CPM Cruwear has an excellent balance between toughness, edge retention, ease of sharpening, hardness, right? This is not a steel that's going to chip out nearly as easily as S30V or D2, which was the old blade steel in the Adamas, right? And the reason I bring up S30V is because Benchmade has a ton of knives in S30V, right? This is a tougher blade steel, tougher geometry. This is going to be more of a kind of twist cut or turn cut or hammer cut, right? Or impact cut sort of knife. And then at the end of the day, if the blade's thrashed, it's Cruwear. It's not M390, it's Cruwear. So you're definitely going to be able to bring the edge back a little bit easier. General consensus in the knife community, not that I pretend to speak for everybody, but people really like Cruwear, and people who are Benchmade fans and Adamas fans are applauding the change from D2, of course, to Cruwear. If you want to learn more about Cruwear, like I said in the other videos, check out Knife Steel Nerds. Laren Thomas knows what he's talking about. He's an actual metallurgist. That's a great place to get information on blade steels, and you're going to get a lot more there than you would from me. So, absolutely. Anyways, yeah, the position of the thumb stud is excellent. You can do the forward flick, the reverse flick. You can do the sort of Benchmade whippy thingy, right? Incredibly smooth. Fantastic placement of the thumb studs. The thumb studs are also positioned really well. There's only a small portion of the cutting path that is blocked off by the thumb stud. For the most part, you know, if you're cutting straight down, you might bump into it, but for the most part, you're probably going to be cutting more like this, right? So it's great. The fuller looks great. It'll definitely collect gunk and crap. You're just going to have to clean it out periodically. I'd rather the fuller be there than not be there. I also like that the thumb studs are black. I just do. A lot of people might be looking at that and, you know, think, why didn't they do them the same color as the blade? I don't know. I kind of like the contrast. I kind of like how it looks. Benchmade logo looks great, especially, you know, contrasting with the FDE blade. The other side, it just says Cruwear and Seibert. The edge is fantastic, nice and glassy, smooth, definitely bitey and sharp, right? This isn't gonna split fibers on a paper towel or anything like that. It is sharp. It is gonna cut. Absolutely. Very smooth. Very, very easy to actuate. I'm really happy with the action on this guy. As much as I love the action on the automatic one, this one makes more sense for me in my day today. I don't need my knife to shabam! You know, I don't need it to do that every single time, even though it is cool. my preference lies more in the manual version of this knife because it's a little, right? I mean, if I want to, I can just open it like this. It's really easy to do. This knife feels very good in hand. It feels just as capable in hand as you would imagine, right? If you're trying to imagine along with me, what does that feel like in hand? Does it feel like, it's ready to go to work? I mean, yeah, that's a really generalized way of putting it, right? And you hear knife people say that all the time. It just feels really good in hand. It feels like it's ready to go to work, right? But then when you handle it, you go, oh yeah, it does, right? How do you put that into words? I don't know. Those are the words that we use. That's the dialogue that we use, right? Anyways, seating of the hardware, everything is just fantastic. Just like the other versions of the Adamas, you do have pocket clip positions for right and left-handed carry, which is great because the axis lock is a truly ambidextrous lock. So righties, lefties, you can all enjoy it. There is a lanyard hole for lanyardy people. But it's not in the way of the pocket clip, which I think is much more important. The pocket clip is in my opinion, is the best pocket clip Benchmade has ever done. And it's like I said, once again, the other review, it looks a little out of place because it's so much skinnier than the rest of the knife. It would have been cool if they did a wider version of this clip just for the Adamas, but that probably would have added cost to it. The clip functions fantastically, right? You can feel it a little bit in hand. It would take quite a bit of cutting for that to really wear into your hand to the point where you're like, I don't like, right? You're probably going to be wearing gloves at that point anyway. Carries pretty deep. In fact, there's hardly any part of the knife sticking up out of your pocket. And the screws are not recessed, but I found in and out of the pocket, it's just easy, right? The surfaces are smooth. These are slightly contoured surfaces. It's just nice. It feels really good. I really like this clip. I think it works really well with Benchmade, with Benchmade knives in general, but the Adamas, absolutely. Lockup on this guy, absolutely, completely, and totally solid. Centering, like I said, absolutely spot on. Pros and cons, again, largely the same as the automatic version of this knife. It's big, thick, heavy, even though it is a little bit slimmed down from the original version. So that's not going to work for everybody. It's going to be illegal for some people who can't carry this big of a knife, right? For those of you who can carry it, I think you're going to be pretty happy with this. Like I said, the thumb stud's slightly in the cutting path. The pocket clip looks a little bit funny because it's kind of skinny, right? What else is there? I mean, I can't complain about the auto. I mean, the action is fantastic. Like I said, I prefer the manual version of this knife. This is, by the way, running on phosphor bronze washers, some pretty large phosphor bronze washers. You do not need to worry about stuff getting in there and slowing. It's just not going to happen unless you are intentionally hammering this thing into wet sand. And even then, I would imagine it'll still be fine, right? Crewware is not stainless. Be wary of that. It is backed up. It has a little bit of protection because of the coating, right? But maintain a coat of oil. Clean the blade off if you're working in a wet environment, right? Put a coat of oil on it, right? If you're not working in a wet environment, I would probably, put something on it once a month or so, even, that being the case. I don't have as much of a problem out here in Kansas, but it really depends on where you live. This is a U.S.-made knife. Again, materials, we're looking at Crewware, G10, and stainless steel. These are U.S.-made knives. Did I just say that? I think I did. Fit and finish, excellent. Even though we are looking at materials that you can find, not the blade steel, but we are looking at handle materials that you can find at a much lower price point. The final form that they take and the overall quality is something that stands out from that price point. So once again, try not to reduce the value or what you think the knife should cost to just some of the materials. That holds no weight whatsoever. We have to consider everything together. The Auto Adamas, the automatic version of this knife is much more expensive at $306, and I was not super pumped about that. This guy is coming in at $236. That's much easier for me to accept, right? There is a $70 difference between this and the automatic version. While that is still expensive, I feel like they're in line on this price. This is a big, overbuilt, premium knife. But it's not titanium. I can get titanium for the price. Yeah, from a company who's manufacturing knives out of China usually, right? You can get some zero tolerance knives with titanium on them, but they don't take exactly the same form. This is truly impressive fit and finish. This is a very, very capable knife. And while Benchmade knives tend to be on the higher side on at price points, there are certain knives in their line where I'm like, yeah, you know what? That price makes sense to me. I'm feeling that, right? A lot of times it's a gut instinct thing because I don't make knives. I don't work for Benchmade. I don't have inside information on costs or anything like that. So it's a gut feeling. I mean, that's what you guys are coming here for, right? My gut instincts. Whether you agree with me or not. The end of the automatic Adamas review was, it's a cool knife, but it's specifically going to be for people who want, like, really like the Adamas, really want the automatic version, and really like big overbuilt knives that can carry them, right? This knife is much more recommendable, or it's somebody wanting to try a big, capable, overbuilt knife that's American made, right? Obviously, it's not automatic, so you don't have to be an automatic knife person, right? This is much easier to recommend for a big, capable knife because of the price. It's still not going to be for everybody because it's so big and overbuilt and capable, but a much broader audience can enjoy this, right? A $70 difference, that makes a huge difference in who I will recommend this to. Me personally, I love this knife, this version of it, much more than the automatic one. Even though the automatic one is cool, if you're big into autos, like I said, go ahead. They'll all be listed down there. This knife I'm okay with the price on. In fact, overall, I'm really happy with this. Extremely happy with this. This is a recommendable knife as it sits. Not everybody's going to agree with the price. That's fine. You can think what you want. If you want my opinion, I think the price is right where it should be. I don't feel like it needs to change. Now, if they decide to bump this up to $250, $260, I'm going to go, whoa, hey, but as it sits, $236 on Blade HQ at the time of this review, I'm happy with that. This is a recommendable knife. It's going to go in my recommended knives section, as well as my Benchmade knives section, which is all the Benchmade knives that I've reviewed. Like I said, you can pick this up by using the link in the description, and you can check out Benchmade knives in general if you'd like to see new stuff that they've got going on for 2021, or just everything that they've got available right now. It's all down there. Thanks again to Benchmade for sending this in. This is super cool, and I really, really like it. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.